everyone. I'll be explaining the first lab program today. This lab program is based on switch case. So, what is a switch case? We have already seen if else if statements. They are all control flow statements where you have to make decision. Switch case is also a type of control flow statement used for decision making. But how is switch case better than if else? When you have multiple conditions to be evaluated, you go for switch case. Otherwise, you go for if else if. Switch case is more structured and it becomes easier to read as compared to if else if. Let's see the syntax of switch case. It begins with the keyword switch followed by the expression that you want to evaluate. You start with the curly braces. Within that, you have different cases. These cases are nothing but different possible outcomes. For example, I want to find out which month is it. So there can be 12 possible outcomes. January, February, March, April, and so on. So case followed by the value, followed by the statements that you want to be executed. For example, if it is January, what statements you want to display on screen. You write those statements here. Each case should end with a break keyword. Break keyword means if one of the case matches, the statements will be executed, and break means you come out of the switch case. For example, if the month is March, so it will match in the case where you have written March, execute the statements and break out of it. Then other cases followed by March will not be executed. Once you write all the cases, at the end you have a default statement. If none of the cases match, then the default statements will be executed. This is how a switch case is to be written. Let's see the first program. The title of the program is Design and Develop a C program to solve simple computation problems using arithmetic expression. Use each operator leading to simulation of a commercial calculator. So in short, you have to design a simple calculator. The program should ask the user to input an arithmetic expression. Example of arithmetic expression could be 2 plus 3, 4 minus 3. The calculator should support the following operators, which all operators you have to design for. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, and it should also handle the error such as division by 0. Make sure that the denominator is not 0. If the denominator is 0, then display the message stating division is not possible. If the denominator is a non-zero number, only then you can perform division. Unrecognized operator. Suppose you enter an operator which is not one of these. Then in that case, message should be displayed accordingly. Let's start with Dave C++. To begin writing the program, you can go to File, New, and Source File, or you can click on the icon shown here, or you press Ctrl N. Begin with preprocessor directive. Include the files from the library. Start with void main. You have to take input as an expression. So you will require two variables of type integer. Let's call them as num1, num2. You also have to take the operator from the user. It could be plus, minus, divide, modulus. So I'll take a character variable called OP, stands for operator, and I'll take one float variable where the result will be stored. It depends on you whether you want this variable or not. If you don't want result variable, you can display the answer in the printf statement itself. Let's begin writing the switch case. Before that, take the values from the user, enter two numbers, or you say enter an expression, scanf. As I said, the expression will be in the form of 2 plus 3. So percentage %d, percentage %c, percentage %d. Each one will go in its respective variable. The first one goes in num1, the second one goes in OP, and the third one will go in num2. Once you have taken the expression, let's start with the switch case. We are going to evaluate this condition OP. Which operator is it? This will be evaluated only once. Please remember, based on which operator it is, you will be writing different cases. Because it's a character, it needs to be written in single quotes. Case followed by the operator followed by colon. If it is addition, you have to perform num1 plus num2, print the result on screen. Result is percentage %f because result variable is of type float. As I said, each case ends with a break statement. The same thing we'll be repeating for other operators. This time it will be case subtraction. Result will be num1 minus num2, print the result on screen and break. Third case for multiplication, num1 into num2, print the result and break. Case 4 is that of division. Now, before dividing, you also have to make sure that the numerator is non-zero. So I'll be writing an if condition here. If the denominator, which is stored in num2, if the denominator is equal to 0, then in that case, print the statement printed division not possible, and you exit the program. Exit 0 means successful termination of the program. It will break out of this program and come out of it. Execution will not happen. Further execution will not happen. If the numerator, if the second number, num2, if the denominator is 0, then this message will be printed and it will come out of the program. Else, if the denominator is non-zero, then in that case you have to perform division. So else, all these statements will be written inside the else part. As it belongs to else, I'll use tab and push all the statements inside else. Finally, we have the last case, which is that of modulus operator. Modulus result will be num1 modulus num2. Okay. If none of these cases match, you have a default case. If none of these operators match, if it is not one of these operators, then the message printed on screen would be invalid operator. Save your file. I'll call this as simple underscore calculator dot c. Whenever you have more than one word, join them using an underscore. Compile, check for errors. Warning is okay. You can ignore warning. Enter the expression. Let's say the expression is 2 plus 3. So the result is 5. You'll be seeing decimal because the result is of type float. Let's try another number. 4 minus 3. Let's try division by 0. 3 divided by 0. Division not possible and it will break out of the program. If you try and divide, or if you, let's give an invalid operator, 3 ampersand 4. So it should print appropriate message on screen. These are the different test cases. Try out for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus. Try giving an invalid operator. Also try dividing a number by 0 and see what is the answer that you're getting. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the lab. Thank you.